Alrighty, folks. Good morning. So, I will be doing high pulls and good mornings today. And in the context of the home gym, I've got the bands for the high pull, or not the high pull, the good mornings, but typically using you typically use a barbell at the gym, and whether you choose like the pre-selected or like the singular weight shorter barbells, which are only yay-ish long versus the full thing, that's you got what you got though. So what I'm going to start with is, by the way, it is like, what is this, April, end of April, mid-April, something like that, now that I'm filming this. And it's 40 degrees outside, like Maryland, man, crazy. All right, so, channeling my inner Jeff Cavaliere, which I think he weighs less than me. He's got overall less body fat than me too. He doesn't like the upright row because it places too much pressure through the shoulder. So what he looks to do is to take a one-handed version and pull the weight up and focusing on getting a little more external rotation going. I'm going to attempt it with the 35-pound weight. And we'll see how that does. Oh, and unrelated, more and more I'm moving into again, no movement is bad, just movements that you're not ready for, and that there's no overtrained or under, it's just there's muscles that need to be trained, and that regular training will improve that. So long time dream would be to have my own gym, and this is where one of the continuing ed courses I took focused on the MOG, medically oriented gym, where people, it bridges that gap between people leaving rehab and going to a gym, where the trainers, exercise physiologists, therapists, physical therapists, assistants, you name it, are familiar with people who have certain conditions, what those conditions are, what the prescriptions they are on do in terms of their ability to exercise and their ability to grow and progress in that kind of regard. And that a lot of times, myself included, sometimes I just want to be told what to do in terms of exercise. So what I'd like to potentially create are cards where you can draw 4 cards or something like that, and that gives you your workout. It's 4 random muscle groups where you have to, or 4 random exercises, but the idea is that it works the whole body over time. Like, so you do need shin strengthening, work that anterior tib. You need calf strengthening, but you've got the straight knee and the bent knee version, like we've discussed before. You need to work your hip flexors in a variety of positions and a variety of ranges. So there's so much that can be done, I feel like, to improve people's health and wellness through general exercise, which is why I've started this channel. And I just need people to do it in a way that they feel safe to do so. But that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. But we're gonna attempt high pulls with the 35-pound kettlebell. Oh, nice little crack on my shoulder. not intend to flip that, but that might actually make it more like a flip and catch than anything. Alright. I have no idea how many I did. Look how I'm warming up. Ooh. Oh, that's right, skin. So, and in addition to having that medically oriented gym, I would like to also have a few dietitians on staff to be able to guide people and work with people. Again, my own personal experience right now. So weight update, I ate more. I've been eating more. And I've been adding more salt to my food, which makes me feel better hydrated. So I'm not having to drink 1.5 gallons of water a day. I've been able to drink less water and still feel hydrated. I've been around 173.5 to 173.8. I stepped on the scale Monday, I was 172.2. I lost 1.5 pounds. Again, it's probably mostly water weight, etc., but I added more carbs in, I added more protein in, and I lost weight. So I'm eating at maintenance about while continuing to exercise and do my daily thing, and I feel better for it. So that's where having a dietitian on staff so that people don't make the mistakes I did makes their progress that much smoother, especially when there are certain conditions or medications where maybe you don't want the generic number of protein, carbs, or fats. All right, here we go. So, the nope was because on that last rep, I didn't load my shoulder properly and I got that elbow click again. For the first 11 reps, at least, there was no click. So, I'm sure that I've turned this away from a high pull into something else. But that's where, go look up high pull if you need. Jeff Cavalier has probably a few videos on it. And go give that a shot. For me, this is still working on that. It is a little bit of a hip movement, trying to pull that weight up and that we try and get into that external rotation, pulling the arm back. So, yeah. Whew. That was a little more fatiguing than I thought. So, just because I'm always interested in playing around with numbers and data, etc. What I am doing is seeing how do I need to, again, modify my diet, haha, I know, to continue getting close, 38 grams of fiber or above, maintaining my protein, maintaining my fat around 30-ish%, but being able to increase my carbs up to, I should be upwards of, 75, I think, times 6, 75 times 5 or 6. That's what 375 grams of carbs to 450 grams of carbs. I had been eating the low 200s since I've added that cup and a half of grape juice. That's gone up to just above 300, like I want to say 320. But I still need to, based on like general athletic recommendations, I need to be able to increase that. So, and what I'm curious about is just as I increase my carbs, what are my workouts going to feel like? Right now I'm eating at a higher protein level because I've got a big bag of protein powder in my pantry, and I'm like, okay, so I can just add that to my oatmeal for an extra shot of protein in the morning, and then also have reduced protein at lunch and dinner. But again, I'm trying to move away. Again, I'm not a big supplement person, that I don't think most people need to supplement protein, or the pre-workout, I will admit I'm enjoying because it gives me a little jolt in the morning, so I'm a little more clear. So I'm a little chatty today. All right, next step, because I definitely talked a lot. So here we go. I haven't used a kettlebell in a while. My hands are soft, getting chewed up. So right now my heart rate's in the 150s, which is one of the reasons like kettlebell and those HIIT style workouts have gotten so popular. It's like if you can keep your heart rate elevated for 20 minutes in a 30-minute workout, you've just done what you need to do in order for overall cardiovascular conditioning work. Yeah, so again, I wonder, going back to this whole concept of the MOG and my own personal experiences of how many people, I'm not going to say they're overeating or undereating, or they're inactive, or they or over or anything like that. They are improperly nourished and they're improperly active. All right, and I'll elaborate more in a second. So I got that damn shoulder click again. Um, it's gonna take me like 20 minutes just to get through one exercise because I'm jibber jabbering. So yeah, my own personal experiences. I salted my food to some degree, but clearly not enough. Like food wise, based off of like MyFitnessPal, whatever they say, and like admittedly it's a side of seasonings and sauces that I use, I was only getting like 1,200 milligrams of sodium a day, but I could for myself probably push that up another 800 to 1,000 milligrams, which is a tablespoon of salt dispersed over my food across the course of the day. And that's for someone average. I sweat. I go to the gym and I sweat. I work in a pool where it's humid and I sweat. So I need to increase my salt intake past that. So like I said, since I've been adding a little salt mixture to my water to sip on while I'm at the pool, I feel so less washed out. Because I'm not having to drink as much water, and I'm not as I don't feel like so washed out, so drained out. Like, all I can think of is somebody putting a piece of broccoli into a pot and filling it up with water and boiling it for 20 minutes. The water's green and the broccoli's like washed out gray. And then and again, we villainize salt because it's high blood pressure, this and that. And from what I've been reading, it's just like high sodium or decreasing sodium intake isn't always as effective for decreasing blood pressure. So one of the things I've always talked about healthcare is, what is this? Are we treating the symptom or are we treating the cause? And I'll come back to that in just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, that's sloppy. 8, 9. Ooh, that juice in my hand. I was gonna say something and I forgot. Alright. So I had a patient come in, she was complaining of calf pain and that she had gone to PT for it, and they had given her some straight leg raises, some heel raises, and I'm like, all right, so that's the symptom. They treated the symptoms. And it's not a knock against them. You don't know what you don't know, or if the environment you are in does not allow you to look further than what the patient tells you, you have to work with what you got. And there's a lot of these places where, on average, here in Maryland, we can see 3 patients per hour as an average. So let's say, so that means in an 8-hour day, I can see 24 patients. How those 24 patients are spaced out is irrelevant as long as I'm scheduled to work those 8 hours. So as far as I know, right? Legalese lawyers can debate me or just, call me out. So if you're let's say you didn't have to work for the first 2 hours, you were at work but you had no patients. So between the last 6 hours, you can still see 24 patients. So that's 4 patients per hour. So when you have a patient come to you with an issue and all you hear is calf pain, you're like, boom, here's the thing for you. You don't have time to think past that, because either you're working with 2 patients at the same time, or it's 15 minutes, 15, 15, 15, 15, and just over and over and over again, which is a pain. But that's where we treat so much the symptoms of our issues rather than the causes. And it sometimes we can only treat the symptoms. I admit that, especially as we move like into our organs. Like, how do you fix congestive heart failure? What's the cause of congestive heart failure? Is there a fix? I don't know. Or kidney disease. How do we fix kidney disease? Can we reverse it? I don't know. That's not my wheelhouse. If you're a nephrologist, cardiologist, you tell me what you know about those. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I do notice I have an issue with this. Like, this is me reaching over to my left side is actually painful along my left rib cage. It's like a 2 out of 10. And if I had to take a guess, because of that rotation movement here, that's something going on with my lat. So I would look to try and overall improve the stability of my lat, especially on my left side, to improve, or just to check on that. Whether that's a symptomatic treatment or a causal treatment, I'm not sure. But if when I try and load my left shoulder, or let's say, okay, if I treat my left lat and I continue to get less pain with it in terms of rotation, and as a result, my left elbow and left shoulder feels that much more stable for it, I've treated the cause. So, alrighty, so we're gonna attempt good mornings with this guy here. So I don't like having the weight directly on my neck, so I am going to try and wrap it around my shoulders, and we're going to just, nope, this is going to be kind of partial range. Good mornings. So, don't get a whole lot out of the good mornings with just the band, but considering my last video where I talked about, like, hey, let's take 2 exercises that are a little more difficult and one that's a little easier, and just go for it in terms of time, especially with the amount of talking. I'm 25 minutes in, and I just started the second exercise. Middle of the third is hanging knee tuck. which goes back to my whole thing about, well, it justifies to me that there's no bad movement, just movements you're not ready for. There's no bad exercise, just an exercise that's not suited for you at that moment. And also disassociation. So with the knee tuck, I'm going to be doing off my parallel bars. I don't want to see you like whipping your spine back and forth. I want you to feel like you can maintain that neutral spine while you bring that knee up and down. So for me, what I'm wondering about is, do I have a weak right hip flexor? And do I need to strengthen it? I got an idea as to why I have a weak right hip flexor is because when I was in grad school, PT school, I would sit at my computer and then I would cross my legs over this way onto the seat next to me so I could just be comfortable. And so that constant twist, and that's where again, that right-sided twist with excess twist at the trunk, at the top half, could be causing some of my issues. Because my body felt that was very comfortable. Let's move back into that. And so that's where I need to convince my brain, my control center, that a new position is more comfortable and that I feel safe in it. And that's where we use like deep breathing and loads we can control. All right, so the setup for the good morning with the band is probably the worst part. All right, so I took off the sweater so you can see the band a little better. So, all right, arched back, got more of that neutral spine. And again, I have to go with partial range of motion, otherwise the band slips off. Let's see how it feels around the neck. Actually, that's not too bad. Nope. So I put her on the neck, my own neck, and I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it does put a lot of pressure on the base of the neck, so if you have like a tender issue there, that could be a factor for you. So, I mean, another way I could potentially do it is to, if I had clips for my kettlebells, I could use my daisy chain, hold it here-ish, and go up and down. But I don't. You know what? We'll try an alternate version for this last set. And yeah, we'll see. Long story short. Alright, so behind the shoulders like this here. 2, and alright, so I like the kettlebell version up until the dismount. So I'll definitely, if you're at home and you have a barbell, I would suggest the barbell. If you don't have a barbell, I would suggest slowing it down. Hands behind your head. Don't push into your head. Come forward and up. As it gets easier, you try and reach forward. Because physics. Alright. Last one we got is the hanging knee tuck. Let me check my list and see, is it in all 3 dimensions? It is, okay. So, this is a 3-dimensional, well, let's say 3D, because we're going in all 3 directions, where I'm looking to go up, pushing my knees to the right shoulder, pushing my knees to the left shoulder, and then up again. And typically I have it written as hanging because at the gym, I'd be trying to hang on and do this movement. And generally what I found was my grip would give out before my abdominals would, but focusing on, again, Jeff Cavalier, Athlean-X type stuff, straight arm scapular stability. So I can't remember, what do they call it? Like the nose crusher pull up or something like that, where you can pull yourself up, and while you're pulled up, you can push yourself away from the bar and back in without losing that good scapular stability. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is scapular winging. And what I'm going to try and do is, you can actually pull those shoulder blades back under. And that's one of the reasons I have issues with that straight arm scapular stability, whether I'm overhead or out in front. Right, I'm not a perfect human being. I got my own, I got health issues too. All right, we're gonna see. Heck, you know, I'm gonna leave the camera as it is. Again, well, let's see here. So, see if we can't get this done before 40 minutes. So, neutral spine, ish. Got 12. And I start getting pain kind of where just below my shoulder blades, my rib cage. So that was either, and I'm gonna say pain and not like muscle burn. If it was muscle burn, I would have kept going. But this was more pain. And so I've got 3 theories, but again, I don't diagnose yourself, kids. Don't do what I do. Do as I say, not as I do. My diaphragm the diaphragm probably attaches somewhere within that similar area. The psoas attaches somewhere up in that area from the anterior aspect, or that's where those lats attach. So if I have a weak hip flexor, I might get pain. If I have that inability to stabilize properly through my lats, I could get pain. If I'm getting fatigued and my breathing pattern changes, that could be where I get pain. But as soon as I stopped, it went away. So I'm ready for the next set. Like I said, trying to get this done before 40. I got 4 minutes to do 3 sets. Here we go. 1, 3, 6, 6. So that stopped because of muscle burn. But what I tried to do on that set was maintain that nice upright trunk. Yeah. Tell me your stories, tell me how you're doing. Tell me what troubles you. Some days it's physical, some days it's therapy. This is my Zen moment where, admittedly, I'm talking a lot. But this is the only thing I'm focusing on right now in this moment. My mind feels still because I am here. Okay, so the reason I'm looking probably pretty weird on the camera is that I'm really focusing on trying to get these shoulder blades stable before I initiate the movement. So, yeah, that's hard. So, this is where, like, going back to what's a core exercise. Everything, which is a cop-out response. If I'm doing a tricep extension, right, I don't want to feel like that when I pull down, my gut comes out. So, or that I'm off balance, so I'm having to stabilize at my feet, stabilize at my hips, all right? So now I'm not going to sway side to side much. If I engage my hips and my core, right, I'm not going to move too much here. If I'm down here, and I'm just like rocking the whole thing, I'm not going to get much out of that, versus if I set and I pull, my shoulder blades are set, my abs are tight, my hips are tight, my feet are tight. I have this rigidity in my torso, my whole body to do a tricep extension. So everything's a core exercise. All right. So race against the clock, 39:22. Here we go. So no pain on that one, literally just my body told me to stop. So I did it better that time around. All right, I'm off camera and talking. So, keep working hard, keep doing you. All movements are good movements. You just gotta be ready for them and know which body part you're supposed to be working and not working. And that's what I'm here for your questions, for your comments, to provide clarification to the things that I say. Oh, and drink some water. Whether it's got salt in it or that's up to you, but here's to you.